We've done exactly what we wanted. We've got ourselves into the top 3, but no, is that an engine failure? We've got an engine failure. This is absolutely terrible. No. George Russell, he is going to cross the line to win the Las Vegas Grand Prix and to also claim a World Drivers' Championship for ourselves. We're going to have to settle for P2 here in Las Vegas. Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of my F1 23 MyTeam career mode. This is part 33 of the series, and if you did miss the last episode, you missed a pretty good one. It came right down to the wire. It was an absolute thriller in Las Vegas with 3 drivers going for the championship. Unfortunately for ourselves, we came up a little bit short, and George Russell did end up claiming his first World Drivers' Championship as we now get ourselves prepped for a whole new season. So this is going to be season 3 of this series, so very much looking forward to it as we now get straight into the new series. So this is the 2025 Mercedes, and they've had some big shoes to fill here because Lewis Hamilton, if you remember, did retire at the end of the season. So to replace him, they've gone back to a past Mercedes driver to get Esteban Ocon back in the car. Once again, he's driving a Mercedes-powered vehicle, and he will be alongside George Russell, the reigning world champion. With Ocon now moving to Mercedes, Alpine have signed Valtteri Bottas to the team to help move the team up the constructor standings after finishing in 7th place last season. Alpine have also farewelled BWT as a title sponsor, and Castrol have stepped up to the plate, resulting in this blue and green livery for the team. Gasly will be also assisting Bottas in these endeavours to move themselves further up the constructor standings. Now onto Sauber. They have surprisingly recruited Stroll from Aston Martin, so it's going to be the first time Stroll's going to be driving for a team where his father Lawrence did not have part ownership in. So this will be a good test to see how well Stroll can go up against a teammate where his father's say probably isn't going to have too much of an effect. So, and Sauber's also going to retain the likes of Zhou Guan Yu in the other seat. Now to Aston Martin, with the surprise departure of Stroll, Aston Martin have gone for a new driver to lead them to future glory, and they have taken the experience of Nico Hulkenberg and put him alongside Logan Sargent, who had a couple of good performances last season in the Williams. Speaking of Williams, now they've got some shoes to fill after Sargent leaving them, their little prophecy that they were going for. And so they have signed past Formula 2 champion Felipe Drugovich to drive alongside Iwasa this season. And now to Red Bull. After a little bit of an off-pace season last year, they finished P5 in the Constructors' Championship. So this year they're focusing majorly on car development while retaining both of the same drivers, Max Verstappen and Sergio Perez, as we now move to AlphaTauri. And they had an all-right season, finishing P8 in the Constructors, a little bit further up from where they did in the season before. So they're on the same boat as Red Bull, focusing on car development while retaining both Tsunoda and Nick de Vries. Now to Ferrari. With a top 3 finish in the Constructors last season, they're going to be wanting to get closer to a Constructors Championship this year. They'll be keeping the same driver lineup for Charles Leclerc and Carlos Sainz to put themselves further and hopefully into that top 2 of the Constructors. Now on to Haas. After a shaky season trying to get Liam Lawson up to speed, Haas have retained both drivers and will be looking to build on this and get themselves a little bit further up the midfield than where they were last season. Now to McLaren. The reigning World Constructor Champions will be looking to go back-to-back this season. Norris will be looking for redemption after that heartbreaking loss in the final race of the season in the Drivers' Championship. And McLaren will be keeping both Oscar Piastri and Lando Norris to try and get themselves these back-to-back Constructor Championships. And on top of that, they've also got a new sponsor. Cisco has stepped up to the plate and replacing Google Chrome as their title sponsor, which will be interesting to see how this could possibly affect. And now it's a new look for Brabham, and it's been a rebrand as well for Brabham. So after being the best finishing Red Bull last season, Red Bull have stepped up and they're helping us even further try and get ourselves to a Constructors' Championship. And for our drivers, it's going to be once again myself driving, and we have retained the likes of Alex Albon going into our 3rd season as a team. And you'll take note here that Meguiars has left the team. They have decided to go on elsewhere in the world of motorsport, and which has now left us looking for a new sponsor, and that is where Gyms has come into the picture here, and we have rebranded to Gyms Racing by Brabham. And now, as we take a look here at the calendar, Australia is going to be the opening race once again of this season. Then we're going to head over to Japan and China for rounds 2 and 3. And then we're going to do our European leg of the series, going to Austria, Azerbaijan, Monaco, Spain, Great Britain, Netherlands, Italy. And then it's off to the Middle East, Abu Dhabi, Saudi Arabia, Bahrain. And then a couple of more races towards the end of the season, going to Texas, Canada, and then once again, Brazil, going to be a season finale where it should really be in Formula 1 as we now do a couple of little upgrades here just to get ourselves prepped for this new season here. So I'm going to do a pit equipment upgrade, and also we're going to be upgrading here our resource point generation to try and help ourselves get further up this field and try and get ourselves that Constructors Championship. We've been trying to get it now for a little bit, as now we head into a very sunny Melbourne for this opening practice session of a new season. There is the Castrol Alpine, sitting in the garage, so definitely looking forward to this new season ahead of this F123 MyTeam career mode. And just like that, we're going to be finishing our first practice program, and we got it into the purple, so absolutely perfect to start to this practice session. And now I kind of screwed it up there on the final exit, but we nearly got a perfect score here in the track acclimatization. So definitely looking very good here in practice at the moment. And once again, also looking very good as we now come towards the finish line here to complete another practice program, and it's going to be another perfect score here for Tyre. So Tyre looking very good at the moment. They're getting right up into the purples now. We take a look here at the results of Practice 1. Lando Norris, Logan Sargent, and Nico Hulkenberg are your top 3 here in Australia. And now Alex Albon, P12 on the soft tyre, and for ourselves P14. You'll notice that our fastest lap was indeed on the mediums, as now we head into qualifying, and it is a very wet Melbourne, so absolute classic Melbourne weather. Very sunny, very wet, and it will be sunny, I can guarantee you now, in not too much time here, as now we head out onto a track. In these wet conditions, Alex Albon sets the pace, but very quickly followed by Liam Lawson, so these lap times are absolutely tumbling very quickly. And in previous episodes, I like to stay out as long as I can in these wet conditions. I just find that doing more laps, I'll find more pace eventually. And we've come to the end of the first lap. We're currently sitting P4, but there's yellow flags up here. There's a couple of cars going slow. One of them is George Russell, going very slow indeed. And now it's actually popped up that he is out of the session. So there's been some big incident or something's going on there, and now George Russell will not be able to qualify here in Australia. Will for sure be starting at the back, and definitely not the way that our reigning world champion would be wanting to start the new season. And now as we come out of the final corner here, we've had 2 red first and second sectors, but we've gained a lot of time here in the final sector, and we will go fastest as it stands. And now here are the results for the first qualifying session here in Melbourne, a very wet Melbourne. And it's myself ahead of Lando Norris and Carlos Sainz, but unfortunately for our teammate Alex Albon, he has been knocked out here in qualifying 1. But anyways, we have got to get ourselves onto the job here in qualifying 2. It is still very wet. Not quite full weather tyres yet, but it is still definitely, for sure, intermediate tyres as we go P7 as it stands. So we're definitely going to have to keep going here, because I reckon we're going to be in a danger zone pretty quickly. And now we found a ton of time here, and that will put us P2 as it stands at the moment. And once again, finding a little bit more time here. We lost quite a bit of time there going into the red mid-corner, but we've got a bit of a better exit, and so now we're even closer to Oscar Piastri, who's currently sitting P1 in this second qualifying session here. So definitely looking forward to trying to get ourselves ahead of him. And there it is, a purple final sector is enough to get ourselves P1 here in qualifying 2. So it's ourselves ahead of Hulkenberg and Esteban Ocon. So definitely a few different manufacturers here sitting inside this top 10 at the moment, as now we head into qualifying 3, and it is still very wet here. So definitely going to be looking to try and get ourselves some good laps here, as Lando Norris sets the pace very early on. But you'll notice I've actually got a bit of a train here behind us, so I don't really want to be towing these guys, so I'm going to pull over to the side, and I'm going to let them through, and I'm going to be trying to go for another lap here. And it seems to have been paying off here, as we've gone purple, green, and now fastest of all in the session. And so now that is going to be the end of our session. Never got a better lap in. So in the end, it is going to be ourselves from Charles Leclerc and Nico Hulkenberg, the top 3 here in qualifying 3.
Months of rumour and speculation all come to an end today as we return to racing for the opening event of what promises to be an enthralling season. Welcome along then to round one of this year's Formula One World Championship. We go racing today then in the state of Victoria, where the drivers have 14 corners and 3.28 miles to navigate at an average lap speed of around 120 miles per hour. The close proximity of the barriers make accidents inevitable, and recent history shows us that a safety car is not at all out of the question. Before we begin, let's take a quick look at the grid lineup for today's race. The Rainmaster lines up on pole position, with Charles Leclerc alongside. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Hülkenberg, Sainz, Norris, Oscar Piastri, Perez, Sargent, Verstappen, Ocon, Liam Lawson, Magnussen, Gasly, Tsunoda, Stroll, Russell, Iwasa, Albon, Drugovich, Bottas, De Vries, and Zhou Guanyu. And with lights out just moments away, it's time to go down to the track. A new season then, a clean slate where anything could happen. Natalie Pinkham is with me today as we get another year of Formula One underway.
Well, it's clear, very clear conditions, and that makes it clear for the drivers because they don't have to worry and have that added distraction of fickle weather. They can concentrate on the driving and not everything else around them.
And here we are on the grid for the opening race of the season. Strategy-wise, we're actually going to be going for the medium onto the hard tyre, and we have taken quite a bit of fuel out from what was recommended. So hopefully with a little bit of fuel saving here, we can actually make it to the end and don't have a repeat of Miami from last season. That's now, we're going to be trying to get us medium tyres nice and toasty because everyone around us is pretty much on the soft tyres. And now we're going to be pulling into our grid spot, and we get it absolutely perfect. So giving ourselves the best shot possible to make sure we lead into turn one. As now the lights are going up for the first time this season. It is 5 lights and we're off. It is a very good start actually. Very little wheel spin, so no wheel spin actually, I don't think. And we have absolutely gapped the field going into turn 1, so very easy going for us into turn 1, into turn 2. And now you will notice here, we have absolutely gapped the field already. We have got nearly a full second of them by the time we get to turn 3. So we have done a very good start here. But I'm going to make a couple of mistakes here. I've run a little bit wide there. The tyres aren't quite up to temperature here yet as well. And so now I've tried to take here flat. And you'll notice I have run very wide. So now I am going to be under attack going down this new fast back straight here between turns 8 and 9. And my nearly 1 second lead is now less than 2 tenths and is closing rapidly. It's now only 1 tenth. Hülkenberg's pulling alongside us and he is past us now. And will Charles Leclerc be looking to try and get himself through as well? The answer is yes, Charles Leclerc through as well. So now we've dropped down to P3 and hopefully we can kind of try and maintain this position for now. As we now look on board with Oscar Piastri, and he's looking to try and make a move around the outside of one of the Red Bulls there. I would say that is Max Verstappen that he's trying to go around the outside and does successfully actually. But the job's not quite done yet. Max Verstappen still keeping it there, and this is actually very good battling at the moment between these two guys. And now coming around the final corner, they remain side by side. And now as we actually take a look here on our onboard, because Lando Norris is now side by side with us, and he will make the move stick going into turn 1. As now we head back to this battle here, Oscar Piastri is going to come out on top, and there are plenty of battles so far in this race. As now back onto our onboard, and we're actually going to be running a little bit wide here, and that's going to be ruining our exit speed here, and that's going to make it very easy for Sergio Perez to get back by us. And so now we're going to be trying to defend it from Carlos Sainz, and there's actually a little bit of contact there. You can see the little bump from where he's hit us on the back, so hopefully there's no damage there from Carlos Sainz, because I'll be looking forward to battling him in this Grand Prix. As now we're looking at here a few laps later. This is myself now trying to defend from Carlos Sainz. Once again, he's looking to our inside, but I reckon it's actually going to be Oscar Piastri going around his outside, and it is. Carlos Sainz is being pinned at the apex a little bit there, and Piastri is taking full advantage of getting that move done there. As now we take a look here at the order here. So it's Nico Hülkenberg leading from Leclerc and Lando Norris is your podium. Sergio Perez, myself, P5. Oscar Piastri, Carlos Sainz, Max Verstappen, Logan Sargent, Esteban Ocon round out your top 10 here in Melbourne. And then it's Kevin Magnussen, Liam Lawson, the two Hasses, Pierre Gasly, George Russell absolutely trying to make himself a bit further up the field here. As now Oscar Piastri is going around our outside, going into the fast chicane here, and he is going to get the move done. As now we take a look at, this is going to be Sergio Perez making the move here on Lando Norris. He's going to get it done here in the DRS zone, and a pretty easy move in the end there for Sergio Perez. As now we're taking a look here at Charles Leclerc, who is going to be trying to go for the lead of the Grand Prix here, but in the end he gets pinched there on the apex a little bit by Nico Hülkenberg, and now Sergio Perez are looking to use the momentum he's got against Charles Leclerc to go around the outside here at turn 3, and is he going to be able to get it done? It looks like he is. And that is now Sergio Perez up into P3, and he'll be, P2, and he'll be looking to try and get himself up onto the back of Nico Hülkenberg for the race lead. And here we are, we've now got DRS on Oscar Piastri, swing out to the outside, and looking to go around the outside here at the fast chicane of turn 9, and we get the move done. We don't run wide, and we're going to keep the momentum up here. Now, looking back behind us, Oscar Piastri is now under attack from Carlos Sainz. Sainz definitely now trying to look like he's got a bit of pace here after he got stitched up a little bit from getting squeezed on the apex and losing out that position to Piastri, which kind of started this whole thing. As we now come down the main straight, you'll notice here a lot of people are now going in for their pit stops, including race leader Nico Hülkenberg. And this is George Russell making a move here on Liam Lawson, the two drivers that yet to make a pit stop. As now we're back on board with ourselves, a little bit of a tank slapper coming into the pit lane, but we're going to get it all nice and slow down here for hopefully our one and only pit stop of this race. And the virtual safety car is deployed, so what absolute perfect timing. And Pierre Gasly is out of the Grand Prix, so this could actually play into our favour here a little bit if the rest of the field slow down. And now it's this full safety car, and the safety car has just managed to get out in front of us, so that's going to definitely hold us up quite a bit here, because now I can't try and race the other cars getting out of the pits. And taking a look here at the replay of what's happening, is a bit of a clumsy error from Pierre Gasly putting it into the wall at turn 9, as now we do a bit of an order check here under the safety car. It is Sergio Perez leading the race from Nico Hülkenberg. Then it is Charles Leclerc rounding out the podium positions at the moment. Lando Norris, Max Verstappen, Esteban Ocon, myself in P7, Oscar Piastri, Logan Sargent, and Carlos Sainz rounds out the points at the moment. George Russell in P11 from last. Yuki Tsunoda, Kevin Magnussen, Zhou Guanyu, Liam Lawson, Valtteri Bottas, Felipe Drugovich, our teammate Alex Albon in P18, Stroll, De Vries, Iwasa, and our only non-finisher so far is Pierre Gasly. Now we look at getting this race restarted, trying to get ourselves a good run here, get ourselves all lined up for the final corner. But I've absolutely slept on this restart, and look at the gap I've left to Ocon here, so definitely looking to try and make that back up as now we skip forward a lap. And you can see here Ocon trying to make a move here on Max Verstappen. He's going to get himself pinched up here, he's going to lose the momentum, so we're going to be trying to do what Sergio Perez did here a few laps ago, and we're going to try and go around the outside of Ocon, but he goes slightly defensive. We didn't get the move done around the outside, so we do a really nice switchback, get the power down early on these hard tyres compared to his little bit worn out softs now, and we're going to get the move done on Ocon, and that's put ourselves up now into P6. As now, this is going to be on the same lap, Ocon not wasting any time at all to get himself back in front of us, but I'm not wasting any time either, so a little bit of argy-bargy, but I get the move done with no damage done to either car as well, so definitely a move that was much needed. I don't want to get stuck behind him while those soft tyres are on their way out. And now looking here, this is Logan Sargent trying to get past Oscar Piastri, and you can see myself just up the road there, so definitely a bit of a battle pack now forming behind us, as now Oscar Piastri is looking to try and get back past Logan Sargent again, and he just hasn't been able to get it done quite yet. So this is now his second attempt at getting it done, and he has got it done now this time around. And this here is Lando Norris looking to try and get himself past Charles Leclerc, and he's going to be looking to go around the outside here into this heavy braking zone, and he's going to get the move done around the outside, so a very good move done indeed here from Lando Norris. As we take a look at a replay here of Carlos Sainz, this was an overtake that had happened at the same time we were watching that Lando move, and he's going to go around the outside here of the Mercedes and get the move done quite nicely. And after qualifying, this is something I wasn't expecting to see. This is going to be George Russell making an overtake to legitimately get himself back into the points here. So this man is on an absolute charge after not finishing qualifying and starting dead last. And now, straight away, Oscar Piastri trying to get himself back past Esteban Ocon here for P7. And at the exact same time, Carlos Sainz is making a move here on George Russell. So now George Russell's popped back outside of the points here. So he'll be looking to try and get himself back inside that points paying position at the moment. But we're now riding on board here with Max Verstappen going around the outside of Charles Leclerc. This is going to be for P4 here. And just in front of him is Lando Norris. So he'll be eyeing off a podium here as well. As now, a replay of Carlos Sainz trying to make a move here on Ocon. He's going to go up the inside, but he gets it all crossed up on the exit of turn 1. And so now Zhou Guanyu is going to have a flyer of a run, and he's going to be trying to do what I did, what Sergio Perez did, and he's going to be looking here to try and go around the outside of Carlos Sainz, and he's going to get the move done very nicely indeed. And this charge that I was talking about with Max Verstappen doesn't seem to be lasting very long, because he's now under attack once again from Charles Leclerc. And with the power of DRS, has got himself past Max Verstappen, is now on board with Nico Hülkenberg, and he's making an overtake here for the lead of the Grand Prix around the outside of Sergio Perez. Hasn't got it quite done just yet, so they remain side by side now going through the final sector of this lap, and still side by side now going into the final 2 corners. A little bit of contact, wheel-to-wheel contact there, and now going through the final corner, Sergio Perez just itches ahead a little bit, but Nico Hülkenberg now with the power DRS surely can try and make an attack here going into turn 1. And going into the braking zone, he's going to be well and truly ahead, and that is Nico Hülkenberg now into the lead of the Grand Prix for Aston Martin here in Australia. Now on board with Zhou Guanyu. He's making a move around the outside of Ocon here. So plenty of moves are still going on very late into this Grand Prix here. Ocon still on those soft tyres, so surely he's probably starting to experience plenty of tyre wear now in his Mercedes, as now Max Verstappen is looking to waste no time, and he wants to try and get himself as many points as he can in this race. He sees Lando Norris right there. You can see there's a podium right there, and all he wants to do is get back by Charles Leclerc to try and get himself back to Lando Norris. And to be fair, they have both now caught up to Lando Norris once more again. As we now start the final lap of the Grand Prix, we're going to gain quite a bit of time here actually on Charles Leclerc as him and Max Verstappen continue to battle it out. And now we're under attack here from Oscar Piastri. George Russell is now out of the Grand Prix, so a bad day just gets even worse for him. But here comes Sergio Perez. He's making a move on the final lap in the final sector on Nico Hülkenberg here for the win of the Australian Grand Prix. Is he going to get the move done? He has got the move done here on the final lap of the race, and Charles Leclerc and Max Verstappen continue to battle it out here. Can Charles Leclerc get himself back ahead of the Dutchman? He can. So plenty of overtakes here happening right at the end of the Grand Prix, but it's going to be Sergio Perez who is going to claim victory here in Australia, just ahead of Nico Hülkenberg by only 0.3 of a second. Lando Norris will claim 3rd place. And we're back here with our onboard here. Oscar Piastri has got himself past us there on the DRS straight. And so, unfortunately, we haven't been able to send it back up the inside like we did with Ocon earlier in the race. And so we're going to have to try and settle here for P7 unless there's something dramatic happens going through this final corner. But I don't think that's going to happen. So we're just going to have to sit here and settle for P7. Pole position to P7, not the world's best day in the office, but we can always regroup for the future.
Another superb Australian Grand Prix comes to an end then, and it's a thoroughly deserved victory. Natalie Pinkham, how do you think they were able to set themselves apart today?
Back in 2022, the new regulations came in with a promise of more wheel-to-wheel racing. That's exactly what we got today, and that has been the trend ever since their inception. Long may it continue.
The drivers are en route to the podium as we speak. What a fantastic win for the Red Bull team. They performed exceptionally today, keeping us firmly on the edge of our seats throughout the entirety of the race. Congratulations to everybody at the team.
Well, there we have it. That's another race win for Sergio Perez with the Red Bull squad. It was a points finish in the end for ourselves, so we can be happy with that. It was a terrible race, on the other hand, for the reigning world champion, George Russell. DNF in qualifying, DNF in the Grand Prix, so definitely not the way he wants to be starting his championship charge. As now we take a look here at the results and the rest of the top 10. So Charles Leclerc, Max Verstappen, Oscar Piastri, who ended up overtaking us on the final lap. Ourselves, P7, Logan Sargent, Zhou Guanyu, and Liam Lawson rounds out the points here, so pretty cool to see a Haas inside the top 10. Unfortunately, we're going to have to be scrolling down a bit here to P18 to find Alex Albon. who finished second to last on the road ahead of Nick DeVries. And now taking a look at the Drivers' Championship, it's Sergio Perez leading the championship by 8 points over Nico Hulkenberg. Lando Norris in third, 11 points off the lead, and myself in seventh in 20 points off the lead of the championship. As we now take a look here at the constructors, it is Red Bull leading by 13 points over McLaren, Aston Martin in third, and ourselves in fifth. As now we take a look here in the marketing department, and we're going to upgrade the activities management to try and boost that spectrum and in the durability. We're going to be upgrading the fabrication. And now back to the marketing. We have to select a new rival, and we have gone for Sergio Perez. I reckon Max Verstappen will probably come good. I reckon that was a bit of a blip in performance from Max Verstappen, so I reckon if we're going to be battling a Red Bull, Sergio Perez is probably going to be more where we're at. And that is going to be all for this episode. No major R&D upgrades this time around. We'll try and get some more of those done in the future episodes. So if you did enjoy it, please make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next episode. See ya.